So welcome to today. I'm Christine.
I'm Liz.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are Double DFense. We're an all-female New York Rangers podcast, bringing you fun conversation about our New York Rangers, the NHL and hockey, and so much more. Thank you for joining us.
Well, hello, everyone. So we're just coming off the Rangers win over the Senators and talking about what our drink pairings were. So Christine, it sounds like your moonshine may have helped us get to a little bit of a win tonight. How are you feeling?
Well, yeah, since I started off calling the fact that I was going to do a shot for every goal, I'm thankful that it wasn't the same score as it was last night for the Kings and the Kraken. I was prepared.
Yeah, you would not have made it to this podcast.
I kept it light. The moonshine's strong and it's a little dated. It hasn't killed me, but it's actually pretty tasty. So I'm definitely okay with that. And as you saw, I kept my shot glasses small because it is a work night. So, and thankfully, I didn't have to drink too many of those.
Yeah, I think Halak was looking good, and maybe he kept a few shots off the board for you.
But now I think, well, you were ready to take oh my god shots, so yeah. I don't think we need to go there just yet. There was a lot of oh my gods.
There were a couple of moments, but he held it together for sure.
He did. I thought he did very well. The one shot was, that went in. He was a good attempt, but it was a good shot as well. And he held him to one goal. Yes, I was very proud of him.
It was a game we should have won. It's a good thing that they did because at the time of this recording, we were coming off of a 3-game losing streak that included some pretty big blown saves from this team, which has been unbelievably frustrating. And I think up until this win tonight, there were a lot of frustrated fans on the message boards. I heard a lot of rants on podcasts. I think people were getting real close to hitting the panic button. And I don't know if we're entirely out of the woods yet, but at least this was a little glimmer of some hope that we might have to turn some things around.
I've been talking with people and kind of looking back at some of the stats, and typically around this time, we're kind of sitting in the middle of the pack anyway. We kind of fell down into 17th spot on Monday. We actually gained a spot yesterday. And then we kind of moved up into 14th right now. It may change in some of these West Coast games, but otherwise, I think we're doing okay. And then we've got two games coming up. Again, our schedule is kind of wonky. We're playing Ottawa again, and then we're playing Blackhawks, so hoping that we just continue this. I think they played safely tonight, but in listening to the post game on Monday, I kind of agree. And I'm glad they did play Halak tonight as well. I think Igor needed the break. He's so hard on himself, and he's kind of taking the blame for everything.
He's like a walking therapy session. And you kind of like to see the self-blame when it's athletes. It's like a little less fun if it's like a friend of yours. You'd be like, no, it's not you. I think when Igor does it, he really kind of takes everything quite to heart.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things is I was kind of sending you guys messages about maybe people don't understand the definition of excuse. I don't really see that we make them. We aren't playing the way that people want us to play, and they have their weaknesses and their mistakes, and they're not following through and being consistent. But that's the feedback they're giving too, and they kind of know where it is, and they're just trying to figure out the formula that's going to get them to where they need to be. I agree the lines needed to change up.
Yeah,
they
definitely
needed to play these kind of younger kids a little bit more, give them a little bit more ice time, and so they can get that hot second to get on their feet and get going. And, before they even get a chance, we usually pulled off the ice. And then people are trying to hit that panic button. I'm like, just let's ask that question again next week and let's see. So,
yeah, I think you're completely right. I think that this team, there's been some slumps and there's been more than a few this season. And I think that's why the panic had started to set in, because I think we've seen this pattern a couple of times where they'd be down a couple of games and just play confusingly bad. And today, I think it was different. It was safe, and it was kind of nice to see them play a safe game. I didn't see as many like crazy passes like across 3 lanes of traffic. Like there was a little bit less like fancy puck work and more just like, let's drive to the net. Let's try to take a shot when we can. And I think that paid off for them.
Well, they did have a couple of those moments. I didn't like, I just think call it a skaterama. I'm like, oh, we don't need that. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing.
And the twirling. And remember last episode, you were talking about Panarin twirling around the ice.
I was like, no. Because doing that kind of moves like that was proving them, to be a lot of their downfall. They were turning it over and losing it and getting scored upon.
Their pockets were being picked left and right with that kind of strategy. But it was good. I'm glad we saw a win. Hopefully we'll get another one as we are back playing the Senators again, I guess on Friday. And then a couple more games and then off to Vegas. I think we have some more details for our meetup planned. And I think if this episode's going to air on Monday, please join us on Wednesday, December 7th out in Vegas. If anybody's going to be out there, please come say hi.
Vegas is going to be fun. We're excited because we're going to be together, hanging out. We're bringing some friends. And we're also bringing in the woman who kind of started us all in this group, which is Ladies of the Rangers. So one other thing that's nice is to kind of gather together some new Rangers fans, but also to unite with some women, especially who are hockey fans and are going to be fans of the Vegas Golden Knights too. I definitely plan on being blinded by their bling because there's a lot of bling.
I think it's going to be a good show. So one of the things we've been doing, especially going to a couple of away games this season, is sort of checking out the other arenas, checking out the kind of like performance they put on. I was kind of impressed at the Sharks game because they have this giant shark head that comes down from the ceiling and comes onto the ice, and its eyes glow red, and all the players like skate through the shark mouth. So that was kind of cool. Got to hand it to San Jose for doing like a little bit of pizzazz. I'm hoping that the Golden Knights, though, put on I'm expecting like a full Vegas like showgirl routine on the ice before, but I don't know. We'll see. Have either of you guys been to T-Mobile Arena? Have either of you you have?
It was a couple of years ago. In between the periods was all the little mini shows. It was like Blue Man Group and Cirque du Soleil would come in. I guess you just never know. And they kind of have a little stage. And it's funny because when we were at Crypto Arena, they built a new, like this big video monitor and this little stage area at there. And so that's all brand new. And, it's funny how like these people just start picking up from what others are getting and kind of going along with it to try to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak.
But I think it's cool. And I think, especially for people whose first time it is at a hockey game, I think they're very surprised when they come and they're like, whoa, this is really exciting. Like there's a lot happening. First of all, hockey is a great sport to see live, but I think they get very impressed by like the caliber of show that you get. I mean, maybe not at every arena. Sarah, I don't know are the Canadians as showy as the American teams are?
I have to say, so I've been in what I call the ACC. It's not called Air Canada Center anymore, but where the Leafs play, where it's very corporate. It's just the mentality of the game. It's very unaffordable for fans to sit in the lower bowl. It's such a corporate environment. I don't know how else to describe it. Not a lot of fan engagement. It's there, but it's not to the caliber I've seen since I've been out West. Calgary, great fan engagement. The arena's really old. We're hoping for a new one. The fan engagement, they're giving stuff away to sections like the keg gift cards for $100 for everybody in the section, or skip the dishes, or t-shirts. It's high engagement and stuff going on all the time. When I was in Edmonton a couple weeks ago for the Kings Oilers game, that arena is brand new. Beautiful, just stunning. It's like a museum when you walk inside. I don't even know how else to describe it. It'd be amazing to have a wedding there. Like it's huge. It's just visually pleasing for a hockey arena. It's very nice. But they had a marching band, like all in Oilers gear.
Really?
And what's inside, I have pictures, I'll have to text them to you guys. Inside, like the arena area, there's like this tower, and the one spot carved out is for that band to stand. So every time there's like, they score a goal or, there's a ref call or whatever, everything stops, and like they highlight those guys on the Jumbotron. It was pretty cool.
It's a full marching band. It's not just some guy like on an organ or...
Oh no, it's like full marching band. There's like a trombone, a tuba. You'll see it. Drums. Like I'll send it to you. Yeah, it's like a parade.
That's cool.
I think that's what the Knights have.
Do they?
I've heard Vegas is amazing. I've heard it's just like next level, but it makes sense. Like that's a showy town. A lot of entertainment happens.
The arena is kind of crampy in a way where it's a big arena, but it's kind of like one way in, one way out. So it's very cattle-like going out and crowded. And so, because it's all filtered out through like one stairwell from what I remember. I don't think they changed that. So we're just going to hang after the game for a little bit, because I don't like crowds like that. But other than that, it's in a great location too on the strip. So it definitely draws a lot of people, to and from. So the pregame will be fun. Where we're planning on meeting at the Beer House is probably the most popular place from what.
And that's in New York. So it's
right.
Completely appropriate.
I think that works. Yeah.
So you're staying on brand.
It's lively down there too. It'll be fun. It's only one midweek vacation next week.
We are lucky enough to be within a hop, skip, and a jump from Las Vegas here in our location in Southern California. So we can't complain about that too much. It's just unfortunate that I think the Rangers only get here once this season. And I think, any other time they're playing the Knights, I think it's back at MSG.
Yep, they only play each other once in each arena. So unless they meet again,
which is possible.
Yeah,
absolutely possible.
Definitely looking that way so far.
And speaking of that, Sarah actually follows teams other than the Rangers. How are the conferences looking? How are the Knights doing? Who's showing up in the West?
Before I read out the list, because I prepped my list this afternoon and I was out before we were recording tonight, so I didn't see that they moved to 14th, I think Christine said, which I'm happy to hear. So it's Boston, New Jersey, Vegas, Toronto, which Boston, New Jersey, Vegas is what we reported last week. But Toronto slid in there, which was, they moved up one anyways. And then Seattle, Dallas, Islanders, Winnipeg, and then Carolina and LA, with Pittsburgh as of this afternoon at 13th and the Rangers at 16th. Obviously, it has shifted this evening.
Yeah, I don't think that helped the Rangers either playing this weekend, knowing that we came off a loss to the Ducks. We had to play another game, and then we were playing the Devils, who are on the streak and winning and playing well and are up at the top right now too. So I think everything just got in their heads and just stay there. They couldn't shake it off until tonight. So that was good to see. And as I was saying, tonight was the must-win game. I mean, you know what? Every time they say that, they tend to pull through. But let's not say that too many times anymore. Let's just go for the ride. I mean, I look at it this way. We're still in the upper half. Even if we fell down to 17, we were only there for a second right now. And so we're still in the upper half of the league right now. I think when I looked at it, we were tied. Pittsburgh was ahead of us. We were tied with points with them. They were in that wild card spot. So we're right there and sitting there. I'm not concerned.
This afternoon, when I was reading what's going on around the league, the Bleacher Report indicated that there was like a really tense vibe in the Rangers locker room, and that was obviously playing into everything happening. And I'm so happy to hear that they won tonight, and hopefully that we've, gotten rid of that and bypassed that. Christine, perhaps your voodoo doll stuff is working?
Have you been secretly using Mark Messias?
No, you saw the other night, I found gingerbread men cookies, so I was eating off their little legs. I'm like, I think that was working.
But the consensus too this afternoon before game time was that Patrick Kane is not going to make a difference at that time. So perhaps, we've turned a corner here, and I hope so, because this team had so much potential. I still think they do. Poor Igor, but I really hope we're just over this hump and life goes on.
I like it that Igor's hard on himself and he's vocal about it, because you kind of don't really hear all this. I think that's where all this speculation of excuses comes from, because they're straight out like saying we didn't do well, we didn't play well, we know what we have to do, we're not doing it. I think that was the kicker too, because now they're put on microphones after the game, and Gallant is really having, is getting pressured, and he's like, it's embarrassing, and he even owns up to everything. It's like, it's the goalie's fault, it's the player's fault, it's my fault, it's management. We're all to blame. We're going to work on fixing it.
That's not an excuse. That's taking ownership. Whether or not they can make the changes is to be seen. And I think they made some changes tonight that did work. If these changes stick, then that's a really good thing. But I think you're right. That's not an excuse. That's full on taking ownership. And I think that's exactly what this team needs to do.
While we're talking about arenas, I just want to pivot for a second. This is topical, the arena talk. The Calgary Flames aren't the only team needing a new arena right now. Headlining this afternoon was that the Coyotes have proposed a new arena where they are in Tempe, just outside of Phoenix. I hope I'm saying that right.
Oh, the new one that they're in, that's like the size of my apartment.
Well, they're in a temporary. They're in a college arena. They're in a university arena. Yeah. So
they've proposed a new development, get this, at $2.1 billion for Arizona Coyotes. Calgary has also proposed a new arena. Bettman has been here to tell everybody. Our new premier has also chimed in saying we need a new arena. And our deal is only worth $634 million. So I don't know what the difference is. Is there like really big, attractive events happening in Phoenix or outside of Phoenix?
Is it the Canadian dollar rate?
Even with the exchange, like that's
What's
still
the exchange rate on that?
I'm sure there's some tax. There's a tax credit or two in there.
Is 600,000 equal to 2.1 billion?
Liz, I didn't even think about the tax credits. You're probably right.
Oh, I'm sure. We can do a whole separate podcast on that.
Sure could. And then, sorry, I want to just end my around the league piece with our thoughts are with the Chris Letang and his family. Very unfortunate news out of Pittsburgh, just that he had a stroke and his health hasn't been great over the last few years. So that's very sad. I'm certain his career is done, but hopefully, similar to other players, they maybe put him in the front office or coaching staff or something. Like, there's certainly room for him to lead in other ways.
Yeah, I heard it was a second one too, that he had one 14 years ago.
Yeah, he had a blood clot years ago.
That's scary. So yeah, I think that unfortunately would be career ending. I wouldn't, if I were him, I
wouldn't risk it. Yeah, to get back on the ice if something happens.
No, but obviously such a talent and such a leader in his own right. And hopefully he can just transition those skills to being equally impactful off the ice.
The good news too, if people are listening and don't know, is that it appears as though he didn't experience any kind of pain or any kind of symptoms. It was just something wasn't right. He's going through some additional testing. And so is marked out indefinitely with the league. That's the good part of it. So that's unfortunate to hear.
Hi, this is Liz from Double Defense. Please give us a follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram at double_defense_NYR, and our Facebook page, Double Defense.
And I'm also wishing Sam Rosen a recovery from his cold.
Poor Sam Rosen. That was hard to listen to. Sam, if you're listening to us, we hope you feel better soon. There were a lot of comments on Twitter. Poor Sam.
He apologized too during the play, but I was like, every time it got crazy by the goal, he started talking and I thought he was going to choke to death. It's like, no more excitement, just a calm finish quickly.
Yeah. Ben said to me, he goes, I really hope there isn't a power play goal because Sam is just going to pass out.
Oh my God.
It's a power play goal. We love Sam.
That was funny, but entertaining. So that was at least fun to listen to as well.
Just in the spirit of Christmas, I have a little surprise for you guys that I have been working on. I've really been feeling the Christmas spirit, and I've been kind of down this week with all of the losses that we had. So I wrote a little poem that I was hoping I could share with you guys called "Twas the Month Before Christmas." I need to set the stage though, so hang on one second. Got to get my sound effects working.
Is it a fan fiction thing?
That's where I was going to.
Like, dang it, no, that's next time.
There's only one reference. The
spin-off, it's okay.
Let me get into this. 'Twas the month before Christmas, and all through the rink, Chris Kreider was crying to Micah, "We stink. We skate really hard. We work ourselves to the core. We pass it to Breadman, and even he cannot score. We have Kako and Goodrow, Lindgren and Schneider. How is it that we cannot score any higher? And me by the net, and you at my side? How is it possible that our season has died?" Chris cried even harder, and Micah came near. He held his friend's hand and said, "Chrissy, I'm here." Whenever you doubt and whenever you fret, remember that we still have Shesty and Net. We have Foxy and Trocheck and Hedel and Blay. We should have Buchnevich, but we'll be okay. The challenges come when we think we're alone, and Miller takes stupid penalties while deep in the zone. We have stuff to work on. Of course that is true. But our Captain Trouba is better than you. You cannot be serious, Micah, Chris cried. I thought we were besties. Now I'm shoved aside. I'm kidding, said Micah. You deserve that C. And if it wasn't you, it really should have been me. But that's not important. What matters is this. If we work together, we'll all get our wish. To the fans, to the bloggers, we know you are stressed, but please know that we're trying. We will do our best. We'll battle and skate to keep this dream alive. We'll even attempt to score 5-on-5. We all want the cup. We will do the work because, of course, you all know there's no quit in New York.
York. Oh,
nice. Woo! That was awesome.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
That was beautiful.
Very well done, Liz. Very well.
Thank you. I can post this onto social media if anybody wants the original lyrics to my Christmas song. I had fun with that.
And York, spelled Y-E-R-K.
Just from a programming perspective, we've talked a little bit about what we want to do on this podcast. And obviously we want to talk Rangers. There's so much great stuff to chat about this team. We also want to delve into some interesting stories that have to deal with the NHL and hockey in general and our experiences with the game and things that we're curious about. So we have some very exciting stuff kind of planned just for hockey fans in general. Sarah, I don't know if you want to dive into just some thoughts on that now or
briefly talk about it. So I was working on a discussion piece for a later episode, and it's around the original six and the cities that they were based in and traveled to. So that would be Toronto, Chicago, Montreal, New York, Boston, and Detroit, and what those cities are well known for at that time. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to deep dive, and I can't wait to discuss with you guys. I'm intrigued. I think it was an interesting time.
I think that'd be definitely a good outlet for some interesting research as well.
If anybody is listening, if you guys have anything that you want to talk about, we are a female-focused podcast, but we are very open to hearing from just about everybody, your thoughts, your feelings, your perspectives on the Rangers. We try to come at hockey from a female perspective, which can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So please share with us, what's on your mind. We'd love to engage you guys in conversation and talk about what you also want to hear.
Yeah, you can't just complain about it and then run and hide.
Look, there's a tweet from someone. It says, Liz, read more Micah and Kreider fan fiction. Okay, great. Yes, we will do that. I'm glad you tweeted. Thank you. So stay tuned for next episode.
Well, everyone is really noticing the hugs and stuff ever since we kind of talked about that. And it's funny how people do notice those happy hugs, and I see them on the Ladies of the Rangers board, and I've seen it on Twitter. We're not the only ones that notice it. so it's pretty funny. And keep it going. I don't mind that. It's just like when we were there and I was taking pictures. I got some way too up close pictures, which I wasn't planning on doing, but it was pretty funny.
You can send those to me. Send them.
I was trying to get them together on times too. So I'm still going through those pictures. I took 1,000 of them at the 2 games I was at. So it was pretty fun.
All right, everybody. Well, have a great rest of your week. We're excited to see everybody in Vegas. I mean, by the time this airs, we'll see you in a couple of days. So please come down December 7th, 4 p.m., Beer House in New York, followed by the game. Look for Liz and Christine.
Hey, we might even go live. So just watch our posts and chime in and have fun with us.
Thanks, everybody.
All fun. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.